Good afternoon guys, welcome back to the channel. Chris Dennis here, putting specialist and short game performance coach. For everyone who's subscribed so far, thank you very much and I hope you're enjoying the content. For anyone new watching the channel, welcome to the channel. So today what I want to do, we're back inside and I want to talk about some putting. So I've had a few comments below and I want to answer some questions on why people struggle with distance control. So what's causing them to either leave it 8 feet short or 8 feet past. So one of the biggest things, and you will have seen a previous video, we're talking about if you have backspin on the ball or topspin. So today we're also going to talk about off-centre strike. So if you hit it off the toe, if you hit it off the heel, how that can affect energy lost, how that can affect your ball to either be short or as a result then you hit it harder and it shoots past. So the two numbers we're looking at today, we are going to be using cap toe and I'm going to be looking at energy loss. So we're going to look at obviously topspin, backspin. We're also going to look at spin that's lost from the face being open or closed, and then also energy loss from either a heel strike or a toe strike. So we're going to see what my patterns are today, see how we could then improve that with a little drill. So obviously one of the things we're going to talk about today is your angle of attack. So if we're hitting down onto the ball, what effect that has and what effect hitting up onto the golf ball has. So if you've been for a driver lesson, you've probably been told that okay, if we can get you to hit up on the ball slightly, that's going to help you improve your distance, improve your strike and lower spin. Very similar in putting. If we can get you hitting slightly up onto that golf ball, we can hopefully encourage a little bit of top spin, get that ball rolling quicker, and as a result, we don't need to make as big a stroke to get that ball to the hole. The shorter stroke we do, the less that can go wrong. It's the same in short game as we've talked over time and time again. If I'm 80 yards and I do a full swing, compared to if I go down a few clubs and do a half a swing, there's going to be less that can go wrong, we can be more consistent, and if we're more consistent, obviously we can, especially in putting, we can leave those 30 footers inside 3 feet where our make percentage is a lot higher. So let's have a look now. Obviously we've got the cap toe, we're going to look at the numbers, but we're going to line these balls up now. I'm going to hit a couple, see if we can get one where I hit up and one where I hit down. So guys, even when you're practicing, so if you're out on the putting green doing this, go through your normal routine because it's then going to make it more consistent. So when you get out on the golf course, it should just be the same. It's not going to be awkward going, oh yeah, what's my routine? I see a lot of times people forget what they need to put into their routine. So I've lined that up now. Let's hit this one. Perfect on that one. So I've hit slightly up on that, not by very much, 0.1. And I've lost 3% energy. So we're going to have a look at the numbers after. So I've hit up on that one, we've lost 3% of energy. Let's now hit this one, and hit down. So again, good roll, similar pace. So I've hit slightly down onto that one, let's have a look. And it's showing that I've lost over 9% on there. So what's the difference now? We want to look at me hitting down, why has that lost more energy? Has it affected where I've struck the ball? Has it affected backspin or topspin? So let's have a look at those numbers now, and then we're going to have a look at a quick drill that you can set up onto the putting green to encourage you to get a consistent setup, get you hitting slightly up on the ball, and hopefully get you hitting it close to the hole. So first let's look at the one that I hit down onto the golf ball. So as you'll have known before, we've hit a little bit down onto the ball. The biggest cause of energy lost is actually backspin. So we can see here I've lost 7.7% energy from hitting down onto that. We've had a little bit of cut spin because the face will be slightly opened as we hit down, and also because that club's still working down, you can see we've also lost some energy here on a heel strike. With that club working down, I'll show you in a moment, it's going to encourage that heel strike. So we want to look at something where we can do a little bit of a drill, we can improve your setup to make sure we're hitting slightly up on the ball, and we can also do something that's making sure that we're hitting the ball centered. So let's now have a look at the one where we hit slightly up on that. Okay, so here's the one we hit slightly up, so you can see 0.1 we hit up on there. So you can see we only lost 3.3% of energy, so we're hitting slightly up on it by 0.1. You can still see we lost 1% of energy through backspin, but obviously there we've taken off 6.7% compared to when we hit down onto that ball. So face the path there, it's showing that it's slightly open, so that's why we've lost a little bit of cut spin, so 0.5%, but again that is much better than on the where we were hitting down onto the golf ball where the face will be more open. As a result then, the torque the path actually here whilst we was hitting up did work out to the right, so we've lost 1.8% of energy through again a heel strike. So both different of hitting up and hitting down, but it seems we've had the same pattern. That could be down to my stroke, so that's something that I clearly need to work on, is making sure I get a more centered strike. As a result, because we didn't lose as much energy, we can now control our pace much better, so our longer putt should be much tighter to the hole. So hopefully we should be, with inside 3 feet, where you make percentages 90%. For mid handicaps it's around 70%, which is still very high. As soon as we go outside of 3 feet, that's going to start to encourage you to miss a few more putts, a few more 3 putts, score goes up, handicap remains the same. So let's have a quick look at a drill now, something you can set up on the putting green that's going to help you improve this and to make sure we're hitting slightly up on the ball and we're getting a centered strike. So let's have a look. So here's a simple drill that we can set up. All you need is 2 alignment sticks. So I've got one for my ball position to make sure that my ball position doesn't creep back. So what I see a lot of times from amateurs, the ball sets in the middle and the putter therefore is slightly backing your stance. That's encouraging a downward blow into the golf ball. Also, just like a full swing, if I'm working the club down and we've not reached our low point, that club face is still open and the heel is leading, so it's going to encourage that heel strike that we saw. Obviously, if I have the ball position too far forwards and I'm trying to hit up, we can also encourage that path to work out to the right, which you saw on my other one. So this drill is going to help us with both. It's going to ensure that my ball position is correct, and we're also going to get feedback from the alignment sticks. So when you've got the alignment sticks down, obviously your putter lengths are very different. So check how big the head is on your putter, get that as tight as you can so we can make it as hard as possible for us. We don't want to make this nice and easy. So from here now I can check, luckily I've got a mirror here in front of me, I can make sure that the alignment sticks bang in the centre of my stance. That's where the putter sits. So again, putter sits in the middle. So if I was to draw a line up here, I'd go through the shaft, through the zipper on your trousers or shorts, through the zipper on my jumper and through my nose. So everything there is centered. From here I can rotate back and through, and that should be giving me a slightly upward hit onto the golf ball. So in here now, weight slightly left, and let's hit this putt. Good, straight into the middle. So starting to do a few repetitions here. So we can see there on this one, I don't know if you can see it from the camera, but that was 0.0, so it wasn't up and it wasn't down, it was very neutral. And I lost 5.3% of energy, so we're still getting a little bit of a heel strike. Good, so that one felt a lot more centered there, so I really focused on just letting that putter release, not trying to hold it off, which is a tendency of mine. Now being able to hit up on that one, and we'll see that I only lost 1.6% of energy, so let's have a look. So there we've gone 0.2 up on the ball and we've only lost 1.6% of energy, so that'll be even closer. So you can see there, well, top spin energy added, it says, but it was 0.0, so there was no top spin, but there was also no backspin, which is massive for us. So again, we can get that close, even closer to the hole on those longer putts, hopefully within a foot, which are now just a tap in. So let's have a look. The face was slightly closed by 0.2 there, so I did release that a little bit better. So the cut energy loss was only 0.3, obviously before it was 0.5. The biggest thing there is it's still slightly coming out of the heel. So you can see the torque energy loss there from a heel strike is 1.4. So I've got to really work. If I was on a putting green now, I'd go on there and I'd get 2 tees either side of my putter, really make it as tough as possible, start to get that more centered, working through the gates and getting that strike a little bit better. But you can see there, just from putting those alignment sticks down, I've been able to change my numbers, improve my numbers, but you can still see, to be perfect, there's still a little bit of work to do. So thanks for watching, guys. Obviously I know that is very small numbers that we're talking about and talking about changing, but that can drastically improve your putting. So if we can change those numbers, get rid of any backspin, start to have neutral spin, a more centered strike, you're not only going to get your longer putts a lot closer, but you're also going to hole a lot more of your shorter putts. If we can do that, we can get your handicap down. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll be back on Wednesday when we're back talking some short game. We're going to talk about a 100-yard shot. What are your current expectations? What actually should be your expectations? And see how you compare to tour average. Guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day, and I will see you on Wednesday.